Alright, the official translations for Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo dropped. Let's talk about it. So you guys, no need to worry anymore. The translations are now done by Adria McKnight and not John Wary. And I want to apologize for the absolute worst pun you've ever heard. But please keep in mind with this, the story is done by Gege Akutami, but the art is done by Yuji Iwasaki. Because during the leaks, some people were complaining that they didn't like the art style. I mean, I think it's fine. It reminds me of like a 90s aesthetic, but it's not for everybody, and I get that. Like, I'm not going to try to change your mind about what you like. So the chapter starts with a mothership of a species known as Sumerians, not Sumerians like we have here on Earth, but Sumerians. I might be pronouncing that wrong, and it is saying they are seeking sanctuary as refugees. Now, I find that really interesting, so keep in mind that they are seeking sanctuary as refugees. Then we get introductions to who I believe will be our three main characters. We have Yuka, Maru, and Tsurugi. I'll probably say both throughout this video, so one of those. So my first interpretation was, in the first chapter, it felt mainly like the chapter was about Yuka and Maru. And Tsurugi was just there to kind of add to the story. So that definitely could be subject to change. Maybe it could focus on a character a little more per chapter. So real quick about Yuka and Tsurugi. Tsurugi has very little cursed energy, so he mainly uses cursed tools. Remind you of anybody? In this chapter, Yuka used a type of martial arts imbued with cursed energy, and it's reminded me of somebody already. I know you guys know who I'm thinking of. Now, I know there's no relationship to the Itadori family because these are their Kotsu and Zenin grandkids, but if you look close at Yuka's hand, she has some very sharp fingers, kind of like what Yuji had that a lot of fans noticed. Just a little interesting, but I mean, it's probably nothing. It's probably just because she's a girl, she might have nails. So a really quick summary of events. The aliens come to Earth and they want to see if humans can coexist with the Sumerians. So that's where Maru comes in. He goes down to try to investigate. Real quick note here. Yuta did originally give Yuka his ring, but it ended up being property of the Gojo clan and their mother wanted to give it to Tsurugi instead. And it turns out later in the chapter he really wants nothing to do with that ring because he takes more after Maki. Surprise, surprise. So to continue the summary, Yuka and Suguri get put on a mission with Maru because kids keep disappearing, they are vanishing. So they know a curse user is at play here, so they go to try to figure it out. Yuka and Suguri are kind of beefing throughout this whole thing because Yuka really wants to show she's strong and she deserves the ring. So they're kind of at ends a little bit here. Suguri ends up getting taken while within the barrier, and of course his cursed tool drops because it does not go with him, so he is captured. Yuka doesn't want to go save him, but Maru gives a speech talking about he doesn't want them to end up like him and his sibling, so they go and save him. As a team, they take down the bad guy. He ends up still being awake, and he tries to attack once again, but Maru reveals his eye, which is under that bandage on his forehead, and he, disables him. And the chapter ends with them saying, "Maru, are you an alien?" Let me know your thoughts. Peace.